Warlocks might have become one of the most versatile classes this season with all the buffs and different exotics, plus the ridiculous artifact perks that buff the Strand, Arc, and Void subclasses. One exotic that got buffed that I really enjoy using now is the Mantle of Battle Harmony. What they changed to this exotic is that they changed the weapon damage bonus when your super is full to a tier 4 non-stacking weapon damage bonus, essentially giving you a 4 times weapon surge to the subclass that you are on. This is a 25% damage bonus just for having your supercharged. They also added the ability for this to stack with an empowering rift and made the base duration of this bonus to 10 seconds. This 10 seconds of 25% damage bonus is refreshable every time you get a kill with a weapon that matches your subclass. If you enjoy the build, then dropping a free like and subscription to the channel is greatly appreciated. It helps me out a ton and is super simple to do. Now let's hop into it. Since this is an exotic that works on any subclass, I'm going to give you a build that works on what I think the most beneficial subclasses are, which is Arc and Stasis. I believe that these are the best for this exotic since the supers on this subclass aren't the most strong supers, but they are still great subclasses otherwise. Starting with Arc, we're going to go with Chaos Reach for the super due to its cooldown being shorter and it being better in PvE. Then we have Healing Rift, Ball Lightning, and Pulse Grenades. Our aspects will be Electrostatic Mind and Arc Soul, so we can get that Arc Soul to shoot alongside us from our Rift cast and then allow us to create more Ionic Traces from Arc abilities or blinded and jolted target kills, which will make us amplified. Our fragments are going to be the Spark of Discharge to have a chance to create an Ionic Trace from Arc Weapon Final Blows, Spark of Resistance to have more damage resistance while surrounded by 3 or more enemies, Spark of Shock to jolt enemies with our grenades, and then finally Spark of Magnitude to increase the duration of our pulse grenades. If you choose to go with Stasis, then our subclass is going to have Healing Rift and Cold Snap grenades. Our aspects will be Ice Flare bolts so that we can spawn Seekers to nearby enemies after shattering a frozen target, and then Glacial Harvest so that we can create stasis shards just from freezing our targets. Our fragments are going to be the Whisper of Torment so we can gain grenade energy from taking damage, Whisper of Rhyme to gain an overshield from picking up stasis shards, Whisper of Refraction to get class ability energy when we defeat slowed or frozen targets, and then Whisper of Conduction to round out the build, which will allow stasis shards to track to us. Regardless of the subclass you choose, you will want to keep your super fully charged as long as possible so that you can maintain that 25% damage boost at all times. Some stat recommendations and artifact perks to boost the build up will be beneficial here too. For stats, as usual, I recommend focusing into Resilience for that damage resistance, then Recovery for Rift regeneration, and then Discipline for grenade regeneration. In the artifact, there aren't any that benefit Stasis, but for Arc, grab the following. Authorized mods: Arc, Electric Armor, Amped Up, and then Lightning Strikes twice. These will give us cheaper armor mods, longer amplified, damage resistance while amplified, and increase the grenade regeneration when we throw our grenade. When we take a look at some weapons to bring along, we should take note of the subclass we are using so we can get the most out of our exotic. On Arc, a few strong exotics would be Cold Heart, Centrifuge, or Delicate Tomb, since these will help us generate Ionic Traces more. Thunderlord could also be a good one to use if you want. For legendaries, an energy weapon with Volt Shot, an osmosis weapon in the kinetic slot, and then a strong heavy like Hothead would be great. If you choose to use Stasis, there are also a few good exotics here too, like Aegir Scepter, Conditional Finality, or even Winterbite. Some legendaries that you could bring along would be something like the Riptide Fusion Rifle, a Stasis SMG, or even the new Stasis Waveframe, new Pacific Epitaph from the new dungeon Ghosts of the Deep. And then for heavies, the brand new Cold Comfort rocket launcher from the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, Fire and Forget Stasis Linear, or Bump in the Night rocket launcher would be great. For armor mods, they will stay relatively similar throughout the build with a couple changes between the two. On the helmet, run Siphon mods that correspond to the weapons you're using, and then Ashes to Asset or Dynamo depending on your subclass. The gauntlets will have Firepower and Bolstering Detonation for Arc, and then Grenade Kickstart and Bolstering Detonation for Stasis. On the chest piece, for Arc, run 2 resistance mods and an Emergency Reinforcement, and then Charged Up for Stasis. On your boots, run Elemental Charge, Better Already, and Recuperation for both builds so we can gain armor charges from our elemental pickups, with those being Stasis Shards and Ionic Traces, and then regenerating health from orbs. On your class item, throw on Bomber, Powerful Attraction, and Reaper for both as well. Mantle of Battle Harmony is definitely a fun exotic to use this season and is also incredibly strong with that 25% damage buff. It is 100% usable on other subclasses as well, but those supers benefit more from being used over these ones. But again, use whatever you enjoy. If you enjoyed the build, let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this exotic. If you want some more of my content, then check out both my TikTok and Twitch, which will be linked in the description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.